Some ideas to help you improve customer relations and improve clinical outcomes. We'll talk about consumer habits. Right now, 68% of Americans take supplements of some sort. It's a $30 billion per year business. And who advises them? Skip the Magnetic Healer. I'm making a joke, but people working at Whole Foods, people that dabble in nutrition, these are the folks that are advising your patients. And many of your patients do not discuss supplements or any alternative treatments with their doctors. They're afraid of being judged. There's a number of reasons for this, but a lot of times this is happening under the radar. And unfortunately, people buying supplements are often getting ripped off. The New York Attorney General's office found that 4 out of 5 products do not contain any of the herbs on their labels. These are at national retailers, so people are spending money on supplements, but they're not getting what they pay for. And the question is, where should they get their health advice? Who has studied biochemistry, physiology, anatomy? Who should be sought out for this advice? These guys or this guy? I think you know the answer. And where should they spend their $30 billion? And more importantly, how do you get them to trust you with that? I mean, why do they trust Skip? They trust Skip probably because he doesn't judge them. Research supporting natural health care is growing. Okay, there's a ton of, this is just a few examples. Omega-3 fatty acids, useful for heart disease, cholesterol, pain, asthma, insulin insensitivity. There's all kinds of research on probiotics and immune support, things like IBS, things like allergies. Magnesium is researched with asthma, blood pressure, insulin insensitivity, and headaches. Polyphenols. This is a hot new area. The polyphenols are the bright colors in produce. Heart disease, cancer, pain. They're even finding out that you can affect the bowel flora, microbiome, which is another hot area of research. So this is not unscientific anymore. And what Skip doesn't know, and a lot of people dealing in natural health care, is that supplements do not treat disease. This is a model created by Emanuel Shiraskin, and basically he described disease as evolving out of core issues not being addressed. So poor diet, not enough exercise, chemicals in your diet, things like that will disrupt core health issues, and little by little things start going wrong. Enzyme systems start going wrong. Yeah, for instance, if you eat a lot of sugar, you're going to require your enzymes are going to work harder. You're going to be down in B vitamins, which are cofactors for a lot of your enzymes. Eventually, you start overproducing insulin. After a certain amount of time, biochemical integrity becomes a problem. You start having general problems, and then physiologic performance is affected. Physiologic performance is the guy that is going from doctor to doctor. Something's wrong, but he doesn't know it's right, and then but there's no tests that prove that. Eventually, start exhibiting signs and symptoms. Okay, medicine deals with signs and symptoms. Okay, natural health care deals with the center area. Natural health care is more about fixing um, infrastructure for the body. For instance, you may see a piece of research that says, 57% of asthmatics supplemented with magnesium and improved their symptom picture. What isn't that magnesium treats asthma? What it is if an asthmatic is deficient in magnesium, their symptoms tend to be worse. And when you replace that magnesium, they get some relief. So you're not directly treating signs and symptoms, you're just improving the infrastructure. And possibly you've heard of functional medicine. Chiropractors, naturopaths, even medical doctors are treating patients not by directly addressing symptoms with drugs or surgery or things like that, but they're looking for errors in normal physiology. They're moving people away from the drug model and have had success with many chronic patients, many of whom traditional medicine struggles with. And because of the internet, PubMed, their treatments are becoming increasingly effective because there's a lot of communication, there's a lot of small studies, uh, that support this kind of approach, and people are flocking to it. So addressing core health issues, if you were to do that in your practice, it improves your image, shows you to be open-minded and understand health, not just sickness. Improves trust and helps the patient as a consumer. People will stop making bad health decisions and leaving you out of the mix. And this is kind of important because they're buying the wrong things. They're trying. A lot of people are trying to treat themselves because their doctors aren't really helping them with some of these issues. And it can improve clinical outcomes more than you might realize. Well, even though you're not directly treating the disease, improving health and the body's infrastructure really has dramatic results. That is why functional medicine is becoming so popular. Okay, and it produces income. You can profit, and you can make sure of supplement quality because people going to Walmart and whatnot are not getting what they're paying for. But there are many reputable companies that will sell only to doctors. So the way to do this is to offer a wellness program, and you're not directly treating any disease. It can all be done with handouts, and it will not affect any doctor's routine. In other words, a doctor if you do a wellness program right, a doctor can continue working the way he or she has been working, and it will not disrupt the routine at all or take any time. Okay, most chronic disease involves inflammation. Just as drugs address inflammation biochemically, so can diet and supplementation. The other thing that we can do is address subclinical nutrient deficiencies. Most people are deficient in several nutrients, and nutritional deficiency might be different than what you learned in medical school. I mean, thiamine deficiency doesn't have to be full-blown beriberi. They could have, fatigue, numbness in their feet, different things like that. There's all these subclinical deficiencies that are addressed by a wellness program. Um, Also, insulin insensitivity. If you do a general diet for 30 days, you can help them. 25% of your people are insulin resistant. Okay, here's a chart from the U.S. Department of Agriculture showing how many people are not getting the RDA for various vitamins. You got 86% of vitamin E, but you see, most people are missing something. Okay, so a wellness program will address this. And you want it to be automatic. You don't have to take any time to explain your service. You put up a poster in the office. It tells them what to do. Um, they can take a health questionnaire. This is a 30-day program. Patients can take a computerized health questionnaire and get a wellness score. And after 30 days, take it again and see improvement. This helps your image. And the entire program is written out. Once again, you don't want to be taking a lot of time with this. And since you're not directly treating disease, you just do it all with handout. You give them an eating program with meal suggestions and recipes. There's a basic supplement regimen that is scientifically based, and everything's done in handouts. This does not have to take any of the doctor's time at all. And the program can be adapted. In other words, we've written it a certain way, mostly from my 35 years of clinical experience, but you can tweak it. The main thing is the diet is high in polyphenols, and we're avoiding chemical and sugar, and for a short period of time, grains. And the reason for that is grains are heavily sprayed with chemicals. Also, a lot of your digestive problems improve if they take a little vacation from grain. And there is a lot of gluten sensitivity, not frank celiac disease, but some people are sensitive to gluten because back in the 70s they changed the basic chemical structure of wheat. And some basic supplementation. We give a multiple vitamin to address those nutritional issues. And we've chosen one that's especially good for people with insulin sensitivity. We give omega-3 fatty acids because most Americans have too much omega-6, not enough omega-3. And then a green drink, which is high in polyphenols. So this is a basic program. It will not interfere with um, any medical problems, any medical treatments that you're doing. This is just simply eating healthy. And in 30 days, they can take a quiz and see that it's benefited them. And it makes you more of an expert in natural health care without having to get fully into functional medicine. And follow up, should you desire to use more targeted nutrition, or if any doctors want to be involved with functional medicine, we can help. We can train you. There are layers and layers of this. What this program does is it really does help 80–90% of the patients without getting into anything further.